You have a little diatribe of your own that you need to go on, and it involves Duke head coach Kara Lawson. You were texting myself and producer Dimitri in real time. You have questions about the head coach of the Blue Devils and her decision making in that fourth quarter.
Oh boy.
You were
I
there. You could have knocked off South Carolina, Kara, and what did you do?
in real time, I was just like, what is going on? What is happening right now? What is she doing? What are we doing here? To set the stage for everybody, there's 29 seconds left in an Elite Eight game. Duke's first Elite Eight game since 2013. It is 54 to 52. South Carolina is up by 2 points. Duke has just drawn a charge on an inbounds play. And so, like, basically drawing a charge in only a way that Duke can to get the ball back. There's a timeout called after that charge is drawn. There's 29 seconds left. Duke has the ball, down 2 points. In the huddle, as they're meeting, I see Taina Mare run to the scorer's table to check in. And then I see the huddle breaks, and I don't see Toby Fournier come back onto the floor. Toby Fournier was the best offensive player on the floor in this absolute rock fight of a game. She scored 18 points, more than anyone else who played in this game, Duke or South Carolina. She was getting to the rim with a lot of success, which is not something that a lot of people can say against South Carolina's front line. I mean, she was really eating them up in the pick and roll. Someone asked Sanaya Fagan after the game and was like, were you surprised that Toby Fournier wasn't on the floor for that last meaningful possession from Duke? And she was like, yeah, she was killing us. So the possession goes on. Taina Mare's on the floor. Toby Fournier is not, inexplicably for some reason. And Duke does what it tries to do. They're dribbling the ball around. Clock's ticking down. We get down to about the 7-second mark. And we get a 3-point shot from Ashlyn Jackson that misses the mark by a pretty wide margin. And I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. I thought it was an absolutely baffling decision by Kara Lawson. I think it's one she's probably going to be thinking about for a while. And after the game, Toby Fournier said all the right things and was like, I trust Coach Kara. And she put me in this position, to be successful and have a great year and blah, 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 blah. Look, man, like, you didn't give yourself a chance to win. You took out your best player. What are you doing? I don't get it. And, like, even if you wanted the ball in Ashlyn Jackson's hands and you wanted her to sort of make the decision to either shoot it or pass it or whatever it is, why not have Toby Fournier out there as a decoy? Again, like Sanaya Fagan said, she'd been killing them. Again, 18 points, more than anyone else, having a lot of success in the pick and roll. You could have rolled, ran a couple. There was 29 seconds left. You could have ran a couple pick and rolls.
Hold the ball. Like,
right.
you can run the clock down.
You could have ran like 3 screens with Toby Fournier to try to get her a good look at the rim. Like, you had time to try different things. It didn't just need to end with a 3-pointer from Ashlyn Jackson. You had time to figure this out.
Two men's comps here, Mitch. For those of our listeners who were also watching that tournament, this is not an RJ Lewis situation with Rick Pitino. This is not a matter of Rick Pitino sat his best player because he didn't like the effort from his best player. This was just pure personnel mismanagement by Kara Lawson. I would invite the Florida Gators into the conversation because when they came back to defeat Texas Tech and do the unthinkable in the Elite Eight on the men's side, what did Todd Golden do on that final possession? He brought in 3 bigs to just basically clog up the paint and force Texas Tech to shoot a 3. Obviously, this is on the other side of the floor. This is on the offensive side of the ball for Duke, but the point still holds. By bringing in all those bodies, Todd Golden created a decoy. Yeah. And created a mismatch. There was no creativity. It was just, let's run the clock down and chuck up a 3. And for me, that's disappointing because I do hold Kara Lawson, and I know people who I trust in all sports, including I've heard from some people in the NFL ranks who they think Kara Lawson's one of the best coaches in college sports, let alone women's college basketball. And it was just disappointing to see the final 30 seconds. She fell victim to what so many college football coaches And also Raheem Morris fall victim to each and every football season.
Yeah, I think she's a good coach too. And has had a lot of success this season, won the ACC title, got Duke to the Elite Eight. But man, you had South Carolina cornered. Like, you had them. And then, you did that. Like, that's how you finished the game. I really thought it was just a baffling decision. Like, coming off the floor, I'm like talking to people like, can you believe what just happened? That is what we ended the game with. And, we asked Kara about it after the game, and she just said it was a coach's decision. Sure was. And it was a bad one too. Sure was a coach's decision. Not a good one.